Hello guys, in this video, we will see what to expect from your Vivo X100 Pro's nighttime performance from its main and telephoto sensor, as well as we will also see night videography and night selfie shots. Before we begin with this video of Vivo X100 Pro's night camera, please turn off your blue light filter, eye protection, raise the brightness and view this in maximum resolution YouTube has to offer. First of all, I will scroll over the all pics to get you a quick look over the night pics. Then I will talk about the pics with little details like how the pic was taken, what was the lighting conditions, how far was the background, what ZS Bokeh lenses mimic used, sensor used, etc. Here we go. One thing to notice is that all photos are little zoomed, and I will zoom it to fit the screen so you can pixel peep. The lighting conditions was very poor. It just 5-watt bulb for terrace lighting, and we'll show you a pic of what was the real condition at the end. And I'm truly amazed by this Vivo device, like how well it is utilizing the poor lighting source. Vivo X100 Pro will be a top phone in low light category, I think. Just check out the amount of details it captures of the subject from its telephoto camera. Primary camera will definitely capture details in low light due to large 1-inch sensor, but what this small telephoto sensor is achieving in low light is really good. I will show you the same pics from primary sensor so that you can have an idea that what Vivo X100 Pro is capable of. Camera specifications of Vivo X100 Pro and what camera improvements have been done from Vivo X90 Pro will be discussed at the end. For now, see the edge, detection, background, blur, black level, and total image quality upon zoom. One thing you may have noticed that the subject is in the same position and background is changing. That is the ZS Bokeh lenses mimic. It changes the background lighting source to mimic the real ZS lenses available like Biotar, planar, sonar, distagon, and cinematic. If these pics are shot from those lenses, the effect will be similar or maybe better as you would be using those real lenses on a real camera. But most real camera will struggle in poor lighting conditions like this. Even if they are having largest sensor, here is where Vivo's extra imaging chip come into action, like just utilizing every possible light source available to get a ambiance light on the photo. You may have to buy a camera like Sony a.3.7's, Nikon Z9 to get a good night shot and videos, which is expensive as $4,000, but only for night photo, a camera can be a cheap, but not cheap as a phone. And for average user purchasing, those ZS lens can be very expensive, like $4,700 for all lens. Thank to ZS for at least doing something so that we can enjoy all lenses. Not as real, but still very good. Selfie shots, rear cam videos, and black background photo in this lighting conditions will too surprise you. What amazed me is black background photo from selfie cam. Just wait for it to come. Look, this shot taken using flash portrait mode. You can notice it as it is little contrasty and overall image is looking really good. Vivo X100 Pro's camera can be a true masterpiece for night shots. Now see the Sony's 1-inch camera in action. The background blur is natural as you can notice the lights are small in size and the side hair's edge details. It even detecting the small hair and blurring its background. That is a natural blur. What a real camera do. Real camera achieves the blur naturally due to large sensor. And here is where the Sony's 1-inch sensor doing this, and not to forget the lighting conditions. It's just the terrace lighting 5-watt bulb, which I will show you in the end. This is a pure art of Sony sensors, ZS lenses, and Vivo imaging chip. Vivo X100 Pro's V3 chip is definitely powerful to enhance poor lighting conditions. Most YouTube video doing camera comparison, but not showing true potential of this device. They just take more shot of streets, less of human, to check if a phone is able to show shadow area with good exposure and details. This is not the way in 2023. I think human photography is essential for night shots, as you can see how well it detects the edge, background blur, total image details, black levels, and light handling capacity in poor lighting conditions. These shots are taken from telephoto and main sensor with a little bit more distance from subject, where background and subject is almost in same plane. Naturally, the background blur is minimal, unlike previous pics, but with details due to both are in same plane. Again, check the total image quality you might expect from Vivo X100 Pro camera setup. Not to forget, again, you are viewing zoom pics, and even I'm zooming in the video. That means quality of the pics retains even if we crop. What do you say? Getting a Sony's latest sensor in a phone is a deal, I think. Apple too using Sony sensor, but not the best one. Samsung was using on S series earlier, but now they don't. They want to house all the profits not to share. They're even working on developing 1-inch sensor. But for now, they will sell the 200 megapixel camera with little upgrade every year, which they could have provided since the S21 Ultra. Same goes for Apple. If you're going to fit Sony's sensor, then fit the latest one, but they will slowly provide as the years goes by. The camera thing they're providing now in 15 Pro Max is not the best, but could be done from 13 Pro Max. But Samsung is actually providing some upgrades like a periscope camera, which is good for candid shot and distance photography. Here again, one problem, they could not house a big sensor under periscope prism for which low light photography is affected. Now, companies are going in wrong direction due to Samsung by ditching the telephoto camera to get a periscope, which is not right. Telephoto camera can house a larger sensor and performs better in low light on 2x or 3x zoom. For human, portrait 2 to 5x zoom is good to go. Companies should focus on improving portrait photo quality at night by increasing sensor size rather going for fake moon zoom shots. Now, talking of this shot here, lighting is ultra poor, like it is not directly hitting the subject. All the lights are throwing outside the campus, but image quality is still good. What do you say? Now, these pics are from main sensor. Just look at how well it managed. And this shot is from the main as well with flash. Here, subject is in pure dark, no single light source. Just check blur level and quality. This is the power of Sony's 1-inch sensor. The background blur is natural, not software-based. Good use of flash in the dark is a real show here. Here, have a close look at this pic. The pic I'm going to show you next is the ZS Natural with no face beauty effect. All natural and similar to be very real. Kind of like the natural blurs of the larger sensor more. It gives a feel of a real camera shot. Like it detects the edges with very fine details. It can detect a thin hair in the shot, keeping it in focus and blurring its background. These all are shot from primary camera. Look how beautiful all are. This quality of background blur at night is expected from Vivo X100 Pro's camera setup. Now have a close look on the shot from primary 1-inch camera. At the start of the video, most same scene pics was from telephoto. Here, check out the natural blur on the subject edges and amount fine details. How it is converting the poor lighting source for total ambiance lighting is surprising. Check out the details on the edge of facial hair. It's even detecting those thin hair and blurring its background. This is truly a achievement for Sony. What do you say? This is where you can differentiate a large sensor from smaller ones. Smaller sensor does not have the capacity to do this level of detection and naturally blurring. They rely on software to do it, which seems like a edited photo with background. But this device telephoto camera can even do that natural blurring. I think it's due to the ultra large aperture and a large telephoto sensor compared to top Samsung and Apple device. I have some shot in daytime without the use of ProTape mode. The telephoto delivered me a natural level blur. For natural level blur, low light performance, a camera need either a larger sensor or larger aperture. For the largest telephoto sensor, I think the Oppo Find X6 Pro has a 1x1.6-inch Sony sensor. And largest aperture on telephoto, it's the Vivo X90 Pro with f/1.6 with a considerable larger sensor of 1x2.44 inch. Again, largest aperture can't only perform in low night. It should be paired with a considerable larger sensor. Camera sensor manufacturers are still figuring out the sweet spot of a proper combination of sensor size and aperture size. Again, these all are only the basic. After this comes the role of image processing, which is done by smartphone manufacturers, and Vivo excels in this department with their dedicated imaging chip to perform in low light. Google Pixel 8 Pro have a good chip, which is why it performs very good, but in daylight portrait shots. Samsung is like a all-rounder, like jack of all trades and master of none, but I like the periscope. Apple is being Apple. They can sell the device no matter whatever they give. I see people go mad whenever they listen to anything on these brands. It should not be like this. Once a famous YouTuber said, just because you owns the company's device, don't feel bad or go mad as you are not the owner of the company or work for. Big brand companies should focus on better hardware and software development rather leasing a phone every year with basic upgrades, what they may have provided earlier. I will provide a real video link where you can see yourself how good hardware matters. The 200 megapixel versus 1-inch sensor versus 1-inch real camera. If the latest good hardware available were used by Samsung, Apple, and Google for camera system. Not a single phone even come close to them, as these brands excels in software department. Vivo X100 Pro main is the same as X90 Pro, but with little polish. Telephoto camera is a periscope camera with a larger sensor than X90 Pro, but with a much smaller aperture than previous X90 Pro. Here, the larger sensor will compensate the light intake capacity of the smaller aperture, and it will perform same or little improved from X90 Pro. Cannot be called a huge upgrade. Basically, it's done for improving the zoom, not the photo quality, which I was talking before about companies going wrong direction due to Samsung. The ultra wide has been improved, but not industry leading class as X90 Pro's ultra wide is a waste. Selfie camera aperture have been improved, but it's not, again, the industry leading class. This shot and next shot are from 1-inch sensor in daylight. Just look at the fine edge detection and natural blur like a real camera. Portrait mode not used here. Performing same as we saw in night photos, detecting the fine thin hair and blurring its background. Color are most accurate, thanks to ZS here. Notice the amount of crop level I'm applying here. It still retains the quality, which is very good. Selfie at night. Night videography, black background photos from front and rear, and the lighting conditions of the first terrace photos will show you in a while. Next photos will be from the telephoto sensor without the use of potrait mode. Just notice the natural blur from the telephoto sensor. It is performing same as 1-inch sensor just because of its largest aperture. This level of thin hair detection and blurring of background cannot be achieved by any other smartphone camera, which does not have a larger sensor or a larger aperture. Most top brands rely on software to do the detection and background blurring as they do not have the largest camera hardware. Now here, this photos are during sunset using telephoto sensor without the use of potrait mode. Now, talking of the phones which are using software for edge detection and background blurring will give a fine haircut to the subject's hair, blurring completely the thin hairs on the sides, which results in cut paste in background edited photos. This device, of course, can do the software thing, but only if you are in portrait mode. That is the ZS, which turns the software-based photos into real charm. Here we go with the black background photos from the telephoto sensor. This is not the right conditions to shoot a black background photo as it is taken under the street light, just casual photography, but just imagine the results could have been under controlled lighting conditions. Now, talking of this pic and next pic, it's a black background photo from selfie camera without flash and night mode. It amazed me that this is even possible from selfie camera. Again, the shots are under a single house light of 5-watt bulb, not a perfect lighting conditions, just casual selfies. And how to take these black background photos is a topic of another video. I will, scroll down some more of selfie shots and some ZS lens portrait selfie shot. These portraits are not as good as rear cameras, but can be used all or with same lighting conditions where no night mode or flash used, but still managed to get the decent shots. What do you say? Now, after showing all these selfie shots, I will show you the cinematic night videos from the rear camera at 60 frames per second. Here, I just want to remind you of the first photos taken with the rear cameras. This is the same scene, but from selfie camera with different ZS lens mimics. Again, here we get all the lenses mimics as rear camera. No night mode or flash used. Notice these shots are not as good as rear camera, but still holds up good against normal selfie shots at night. Check the quality you might expect from the Vivo X100 Pro selfie camera. Notice the noise level, edge detection, and background blur. Since the aperture of Vivo X100 Pro is a little bit larger than X90 Pro, you will notice more noise reduction and a little bit sharper image. Here comes the lighting condition of all terrace photos. This shot on ultra wide camera with night mode off, and next shot is night mode on. The reason I shot in ultra wide is to let you know the real scenario. The primary telephoto adds so much light to the pic that you could not even know how bad is the actual situation. Now, this videos are shot using a combination of manual and auto mode. As in auto mode, it does not allow me to shoot at 60 frames per second, which is ridiculous. Cinematic video on any mobile device is a scam right now, and Apple being the first scammer where you can easily notice fake and cheap blur around your head. Now, that type of video where you can control the level of natural bokeh with fine edge detection can be possible in future with a variable larger aperture camera with a larger focal length and a larger sensor than 1 inch. Now, this tech some companies are using, but it is just first generation with just a smaller sensor. Here, I'm going to end this video. Hope you now know what to expect from Vivo X100 Pro's camera system. In my opinion, if you got X90 Pro, then there is no need to upgrade. Other than that, you can go for it. You may leave a like or your thoughts below. Till then, take care. See you in next video.